One thing I've noticed a lot happening at restaurants here in the UK is that people are kind of boasting that their steaks are, USDA prime, or they're importing them from Argentina, or the finest Australian Wagyu. And I often think, what's wrong with British beef? Well, today we're going to be tucking into some of that, because behind me here is a place called Pasture. I'm in Bristol. There are 3 Pasture restaurants around the country. One here in Bristol, the original one in Cardiff, one in Birmingham. And they only sell British beef. All pasture fed. They really care about the animal welfare, right up until the point they chop it up, cook it and stick it on my plate. I'm going to get inside and find out what this place is all about. Now, it's not cheap. I'll give you that. It is not cheap. But sometimes quality is worth paying for, isn't it? Let's get inside Pasture and see whether this has that kind of quality. So then, folks, I've come inside and been seated. I've actually been brought to an upstairs eating area. And it's beautiful in here. Really, really stylish looking. It's obviously a very, very old building here. It looks like some kind of old Victorian office buildings or something, or an old warehouse. And they've converted it really nicely, kind of sympathetic to its history, but brought it right up to date. Huge, great windows there. I can see a nice looking church out of there. It's really nice, really nice. Very, very friendly and professional staff so far as well. And then a guy come over and talk me through the menu and a little bit about the ethos of Pasture. Like I say, all their beef comes from the southwest of England, from very, very sort of specific native breeds of beef, grass-fed, out in the pastures and whatever, really, really trying to make sure they get the best beef they possibly can. When that comes in here, they have their own dry aging place. It's all done in-house for a minimum of 35 days and then butchered on site. Just to the left of me here is a cabinet full of steak. And even though it's not cooked, it looks brilliant. It looks absolutely amazing. A few starters here, some of which are cooked over coals, some of which they've even got like vegan options in here, which is really interesting. I think in a city like Bristol particularly, people are very, very conscious of that sort of thing. So I guess you have to cater to everyone, even though you're a steakhouse. Cater for vegans too, and then bigger groups can come in. There's some steaks, all sorts of different ones, house-cut steaks, the weights of which are all on a board just across the room from me here. And then some other things for people who aren't into the steaks. You've got cottage pie and pork chops and chicken. And like I say, a few veggie and vegan options too. When you order the steak, all you're getting is a steak and a sauce of your choice. A really good range of them. Sides are then ordered extra. I mean, that's going to bump up the price of your meal, certainly. I understand why they do it. They want to give people choices. But I kind of think, I don't know, you could at least put one side from a limited, like the potatoes or whatever. One of them included with the steak and give people a little choice. That would probably work better for me. But they got some basic ones sides here at $5.95 with chips, salads, that sort of thing. And then the slightly more extravagant ones maybe. Fire roasted carrots, truffle fries, broccoli, kohlrabi sontam. That sounds interesting. All of those are priced at $6.95. So you just basically, I guess you could put a few little sides on the table if you're in a bigger group and just pick between yourselves. I'm right near the grill. I can smell steak cooking. I'm excited. So here we go, folks. The first thing I've got here in Pasture. Well, actually, the first thing I got was this glass of house red wine. Smells perfectly acceptable. My starter plate here is char siu pork belly. With some puffed crackling here. We've got sauerkraut on the side. And what they're calling a competition barbecue sauce. Very nicely presented. I like the quirky crockery here. It just looks good. This, though, puffed crackling. Boy, it's like a porky quaver. That's what that's like. Right, let's cut into this pork and see how soft and tender it is. My fork just went into it as if I'm going to need no pressure whatsoever to cut it open, and I don't. And inside there, juicy, juicy looking pork. I'll tell you what, it almost smells like bacon. That's lovely. So you've got the char siu seasoning on the outside, which is reasonably sweet. And then because they've kissed it on the coals there, to sort of barbecue it up, that almost brings a bitter note to compete with that sweetness. Clever. Very clever. And it's so soft. And see here, I don't need a steak knife or anything with this, let me tell you. Just pulls apart. The fat in there has been rendered down perfectly just to make the meat juicy. Let's get a little bit of this barbecue sauce on there as well. Really shiny and glossy. Like Claudia Winkleman's fringe, as I would say. That brings a little bit more of that sweetness back in. That's delicious. Now, this is how much on the menu? I've got one down to my side here. £10.50. Which I don't think is too bad. I mean, I know back in the day, pork belly, it's just the cheapest cut of meat you could get, wasn't it? People didn't really use it for much because it was too fatty. Nowadays, it's being used in all sorts of more creative ways. And it's bumped the price up. Oh, that sauerkraut is good. Got a little bit of sharpness there, which helps cut through some of that richness. Oh, yeah, let's try it with the pork. Now, yeah, as I was saying, the belly pork, you know, it's going through a lot of process to get it where it's at. So it's not just the cost of the ingredient, it's the time and the skill that goes into turning it into something delicious. There we are, we've got some micro herbs, got the sauerkraut. Everything's on this plate for a reason. The sauerkraut, sharpness, crunch, texture from this porky little quaver, and then the soft, sweet, juicy unctuousness of that pork belly, with bitter notes from the fire cooking that get balanced out by the sauce. I'll tell you what, I could eat 3 or 4 of these. I tell you what, folks, I wish smell-o-vision was a thing that existed, because then I could really bring you into what I'm experiencing right now. The aromas coming from these 3 dishes that have been put in front of me are simply sensational. We got the steak here, the ribeye, some nice sea salt over the top of it, and you can just smell the charring on there from the charcoal. It smells phenomenal. The beef fat béarnaise alongside it, silky. 2 sides, and as I suspected, they're kind of more sharing portions of sides than individuals. So I think maybe, you know, well, at least $6.95 a pop. So realistically, if there's 2 of you having lunch, you only need to get 2 and share them. Just need to find 2 that you both like. I've got these new potatoes here, the Café de Paris butter. I've got crispy onions on. There's some diced up spring onion or something on the top too, and it looks really attractive. But out of the sides, this one I think is going to be the star of the show. This is the fire roasted carrots. You've got curry aioli on there. There's chickpea in there. I can see some sort of blitzed up green herbs. And do you know what? I'm actually going to start there. The steak's fine. It'll continue to rest. To be fair, it's already very well rested because there's very, very little leakage onto this plate. I can't believe I'm doing this. Moving a steak out of the way so I can eat carrots. This just looks and smells incredible. You've got all different kinds of carrots in there. Some yellow ones, some orange ones. Then you've got the chickpeas in there. There's sesame over the top. There's the curry aioli, micro herbs. Like I say, you've got this green stuff. Oh, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. See if we can get a bit of everything going on. Carrot, chickpea. Oh, the chickpeas are like roasted chickpeas. So it's got a little bit of crisp to them. Whoa! And a phenomenal kind of curry spice to the outside of it. Here we got the green herbs, the carrot, the curry aioli. That is a flavour explosion, let me tell you. I love places that really put some effort into what can be fairly mundane sides. You know, you go out for a roast dinner, most of the times you're getting boiled carrots, aren't you? Every now and again, you might find someone roasting them. Here, they're roasting them over the charcoal and putting loads of different flavours on top. And the sweetness of those carrots, again, that tiny little bit of bitterness from where it's charred, is just a perfect vehicle for all of these kind of curried, herby flavours. That is absolutely knockout, let me tell you. I am going to move on to the steak now, though. Potatoes are potatoes. We'll come to them in a bit. I'm going to cut down the middle and see how this is. So I asked medium rare. I guess I'll probably err on the side of medium of that, but it's still pink in the middle. I'm going to say that is the medium side of medium rare. But I think that's fine with a ribeye, because you obviously got quite a lot of marbling in there. And that fat needs to render down a little touch, doesn't it? So I'm telling you what, though, I'm applying no pressure to this knife to cut through it. Here we go. Let's pick this up so you can have a little look. What a juicy looking piece of steak that is. Try it first by itself. That is bang on. That steak is absolutely sensational. The charring on the outside infuses so much flavour. But the meat itself, because it's been dry aged, has got quite an intensity in its own right. A little sprinkle of that sea salt over the top. Good God, that is amazing. I really am struggling to think of a better steak I've had anywhere. And I've eaten in places like Hawksmoor and Blacklock and a few others. Wow. The beef fat béarnaise. I was chatting to the waiter about this. I said, you're just trying to amplify the flavour by putting beef fat into it. It's like, if we can get beef in it, we're going to get beef in it. So smooth, so silky. The tarragon isn't punchy, but it's not background either. Do you know what I mean? Got a tiny little bit of acidity in there too. That is cracking. Absolutely cracking. Right, come on. I'm going to eat all that in a minute. Let's get a couple of spuds on the plate. Even these look phenomenal. There we go. We got the Café de Paris butter and all the herbs and spices in there. Crispy onion over the top. Yeah, onion and potatoes, onion and steak. Great combo, right? Then some of this fresh green onion on the top. And onion is a really predominant flavour, actually. But in a very, very good way. If you're in Bristol, or Cardiff, or Birmingham, where the other locations are, I suggest you get down to Pasture and check it out. 4 different things I've tried so far. The pork belly starter, the carrots, potatoes, and the steak with the béarnaise. And I don't think I can find a fault in any of them. I really can't. The cookery of the steak is bang on. The flavours of everything are bang on. I'm going to eat this all up and hope I got room for a dessert, because I really want to see what they're doing with that too. Oh, I tell you what. Special. That's the word for this. Special. Nice. So we've gone kind of retro with the dessert. This is a Black Forest Dome. I suppose it's kind of an updated version of the sort of 70s Burnian classic, isn't it? Wow. So, what's this dessert all about? Let me refer to the menu here. A kirsch sponge, Black Forest fruits, feuilletine, chocolate cremeux, caramel sauce, which you've just seen being poured all over the top, and a milk ice creamed. £10.50. Again, reasonably top end for a dessert, but just think about the amount of process that's gone into this. You've got the little chocolate dome, you've got all the different elements. This isn't just making a Black Forest gatto, is it? Let's get into this. Mash it up a bit. Oh, I almost need a knife and fork to get in there. Oh, and take a look inside here. That's where all the good stuff is. Inside that dome. Smash it up a bit and get stuck in. I'll tell you what, I think this is the hardest thing to cut that I've had here so far. Because the chocolate's quite hard, you know? Anyway, in we go. In we go. So what have we got? Quite a dense chocolate sponge in there. Really rather rich. That's been soaked in with some kirsch. Just adds a little boozy element to it. Then we've got the cherries on the top of it. That adds a little bit of lightness. Sweetness comes from that caramel sauce. Texture from the chocolate dome. It's got a crisp, it's got a crunch. It's an indulgent pudding.
Okay.
It really is. But it looked small. Or I thought it looked a bit small when it came out.
Right,
But you wouldn't want it any bigger. Because it is rich. By golly, it's good. Oh my goodness, folks. Wasn't that something? Like I said in the video, I've been fortunate to eat in some really good steak places. The likes of your Hawksmoors up in London. Even in New York. Remember I went to Delmonico's? That was the best steak I ever had. But I tell you what, this is giving it some serious competition. And not as expensive as Delmonico's was, because that was an absolute bleeding fortune, let me tell you. What a phenomenal place Pasture is. I was just chatting to the girl who kind of ran the reception there as I came out. She was talking about the other branches, and she said they all got a slightly different vibe. Cardiff's a bit bigger and a bit more of a party kind of thing. This one here, I suppose, a bit more Bristolian in its way. So yeah, maybe I'll go and check the Cardiff and Birmingham ones out sometime, just to see what the difference is, and just to give me a chance to try this food again, because it was sensational. That started with the pork belly. It was just delicious. Really great balance of flavours, textures, sweet, bitter, crisp, crunchy, soft, unctuous, all sorts going on. Main course. That steak was just banging. Ribeye steak, perfectly rendered down fat in there. Great flavour to the outer coating on it, the sort of crust, if you like. And the meat inside was so tender. It was just incredible. Potatoes, very, very tasty. You know, at the end of the day, new potatoes with a bit of butter and a couple of bits on top. You know, great, but yeah, we're not going to get too excited, because the thing to get excited about is that carrot dish. The great thing about that carrot dish also, it is vegan. Everything on there, all the sauces and whatever, all vegan. So, you know, if you're on a vegan diet, just come in here and order them. Get 2 plates of them carrots, you'll be absolutely fine. And then the dessert, kind of a really nice little twist on the classic sort of Burnie-in Black Forest Gatto. And I love it when you see places that are being a bit creative with desserts, not just banging out a brownie with a few cherries or something on the top, actually making this sort of chocolate dome and all that kind of stuff. Really, really good, really clever. I've got the bill here, and you know, it's not cheap, let's be honest. The glass of wine I had, £9.50, that was a 175ml, house red, perfectly drinkable. Char siu pork belly, £10.50. The ribeye, £32, that came with the béarnaise. Potatoes and the carrots, £6.95 each. You don't need to order 2 sides if you're on your own. 2 sides between 2 people, perfectly fine. And the chocolate dome, £10.50. And again, I'd say you definitely don't need to eat a 3-course meal. 2 courses will do you. There's plenty of food. Overall, that comes to £76.40. There is a 10% service charge on the bill. Absolutely no issue with paying that at all. My server, Flynn, in there, what a guy. Really, really friendly, really knowledgeable. Just top drawer from start to finish. That gives a total of £84.04. Yeah, you're going to say that's punchy for one person going for lunch. But yeah, more than I needed to. I over-ordered just to show you guys what sort of things they're doing. You can eat in there a lot less expensively than that. I think I got a rump steak at 25 quid. You just order 1 side. You know, if you just have a soft drink, you can probably just do that for, you know, under 40 quid, can't you? Really, really enjoyed it. I've got to come up with a score, haven't I? Got to come up with a score. And as I was saying in there, when I was looking at the main courses, can I think of anything in there I want to criticise? And I honestly can't. I mean, there's not even anything I can nitpick at. And it was phenomenal in there, right? I'm filming this on a Monday lunchtime. Okay, when I got in there, it was about 12:15, and there weren't too many people in there. By the time I've left, where are we now? Almost 2 o'clock. That place is absolutely rammed. There is not a seat left in there on a Monday lunchtime. That is bonkers. I wonder what it's like at the weekend. I tell you what, I'm glad I booked, and if you want to come here, make sure you book. You're going to have to. It's a 10 out of 10 from me. Easy peasy all day long. Definitely the best steak meal I've had in the UK. And I think it's right up there with Delmonico as well. 10 out of 10, no problem. Does it get Greeno's green light? Of course it does. Right, that is going to be it from me for today. Oh, I'm as full as an egg, let me tell you. If you've enjoyed this video here at Pasture in Bristol, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help the channel. And if you're new around here, take a little look around the vault, see what else you like, consider subscribing to the channel, all that good stuff. Oh, do you know what? I need a really good long walk now, walk that lunch off. But blimey, it was good. It really was good. I'll see you next time, folks. Bye for now.